It is normal that you hear about a theft anywhere, but what is not normal is that you hear about the theft of $109 million in a record time of less than 27 seconds. I mean, the thieves set the Gen's encyclopedia of records in what was not a record time. What we will talk about in today's clip is the same idea. We will talk about faster. Thefts have happened in the history of humanity.
Before we start, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment. Your support means a lot to me, and it helps me to keep creating great content for you.
The first theft that we will talk about in today's clip happened in Dubai. The theft was almost the worst theft I have ever seen in my life. Not only is it daring, it is considered one of the fastest thefts in the world. Imagine that the entire theft took 170 seconds, meaning less than 3 minutes. And in this time, $3.5 million was stolen. Okay, in 2007, in one of the malls in Dubai, people saw a scene that was closer than imagination, as if they were sitting watching a scene from a Hollywood movie, as strange as the scene was, and the scene was recorded and documented with surveillance cameras. And the cameras showed a black car suddenly driving through the gates and glass windows of the mall, and the car entered the mall at its fastest speed when it reached the jewelry store. Of course, it was not one car straight away, but the first one entered. A white car came straight away as well and entered after it, and the cars remained in the direction of Arafat. Where exactly did their souls go? He stopped at the jewelry store in the middle of the mall. He stopped in front of the two cars in half. The mall and a masked person got out of the black car with a weapon. He immediately broke the lock of the jewelry store and entered the store. You know that jewelry stores have locker boxes in which jewelry, bracelets, or other things are displayed. He immediately said that there was no security in the mall. They could not catch them. I will answer you about it as well. A little bit, but the strangest thing about the matter is that everything I told you happened in only 170 seconds, meaning less than 3 minutes between their entering the mall, stealing the jewelry, and leaving the mall. The matter is more like a fantasy. That's why I told you, like in Hulu's movies, this situation happened and the people in the mall came out. Do you understand what is going on? The important thing is that these thieves left the mall, but through the cameras they were able to see the car and the number plate, but they discovered that the car they had was also stolen. No, and not only that, when they checked the cameras, they discovered that the gun they had before they entered the jewelry store was a fake gun. That is, the thieves did not have a weapon. Of course, it is an important piece of information that I must tell you. Dubai is considered one of the safest countries in the world. So they do not need to pursue these thieves. I mean, just by passing through the cameras present in the streets and buildings, they can follow him, and as soon as he stops, the police will be there, so it is impossible for them to escape. Or they actually fled in Dubai. The two cars were followed by the police, and the cars were Audis, and they headed towards Zabio Road. After that, the gang left the white and black cars and got into other Nissan cars. They were trying to cross the border and leave the Emirates, but where were the police waiting for them to reach them? In fact, they were arrested and are said to be. These people who committed the theft belonged to a gang called Pink Panther, which is a gang known as a large gang in the world of jewelry and jewelry theft. This gang was named after a gang in a series of comedy films, but they are different. And still, my dear viewer, it is the first theft. We haven't started the protector yet. I would like to shock you and tell you that this is the lightest theft in today's clip, and it is still the slowest theft that happened among the thefts that we will talk about in today's clip. Come on, let us move from Dubai to London, or the thefts, and move on to the second theft. Okay. The second crime happened in London, specifically in an area called Miri, Old England. Specifically, the theft occurred in a store called Graf. The store specializes in selling diamonds, and its location was at the end of New Bondi Street. I expect that is what its important name is. At exactly 44 minutes, there were 2 people in the group, and these people were wearing formal clothes, meaning they were like regular employees, and they were not wearing any mask on their faces. No, dear viewer, because they were already changing their faces, you knew about the cinematic makeup that was done in movies and TV series that changes the shape of his face. It was complete. They actually did this exact thing, applying cinematic makeup to their faces, completely changing their appearance to the point that one of them. Important thing is that these 2 people entered in their normal clothes and entered as if they were ordinary employees, but when they entered the store, they made the doorman drunk and raised their weapons. They had live pistols with them, and they asked all the people present in the store that they all get down on the floor, especially the employees. Immediately after everyone was on the floor, they went to. The store's owner's name is Petra Anar. The woman was in charge of the display cabinet for the jewelry, but this woman showed them jewelry worth £65 million. Imagine the number, dear viewer, £65 million. In 2 minutes, you will think that it is 100% certain that the police will find them as soon as they leave the store, because you are talking about a street full of jewelry. They will be 100% safe. Yes, dear viewer, but the thieves were smarter than them, and they calculated that they would meet the police in their faces as soon as they left the store. So as they left the store, they took with them the assistant, who was Petra Anar, and left her hostage with them. They were unable to get into their car and run away, and in fact, this is what happened. They found the driver sitting outside waiting for him and left the hostage with them face to face. They were unable to get into the car, and all of these things and events were in front of the police. It is not the strange thing about the matter. What is strange about the matter is that it is the same police that was outside and did not have a weapon. Yes, as you allowed, dear viewer, they did not have a weapon, because not all the police in Britain can carry a weapon, but in certain departments they are allowed to carry a weapon. You can imagine the matter. The thieves came in front of the police, got into their car, gave them the hostage, took them away, and went out. The media's flashes to the city were talking about this theft. I mean, the stupidest theft that could ever happen in the history of humanity is how thieves enter a store in central London in front of the police and get caught and get out and run away while the police are watching them. This thing only happens in movies. Like if you are watching a series or movie Baby Drive, it is not normal at all. In fact, these thieves escaped and were studying the issue carefully to the point that with a distance of less than a kilometer, they changed the car 3 times, meaning they changed 3 cars in order to hide their trace completely. No, and not only did they change the car 3 times, they gave the bag of jewelry to someone else to escape in it, and they escaped in a second place so that if the police caught them, they would not take the jewelry with them. This thing they did was gone. Tracking them is more difficult for the police. The important thing is that after the police tracked their movements as they moved from car to car and from car to car, they found that they had committed a very grave mistake, and this mistake is what made the police arrest them. What is this is that the last time they moved from car to car, one of them forgot his mobile phone. The car before, and because of this mobile phone, they were able to arrest 2 of them, and they brought them to court and accused them of carrying out the largest jewelry robbery in the history of Britain. But unfortunately, the jewelry was not able to be returned from it, and nothing was as if it had disappeared and melted.